Have you ever wanted a stock DualSense controller? Don't run away, I'm not done talking yet. A stock DualSense controller that will not get stick drift for you and has a fancy colored faceplate, but you don't really want or need the additional pro controller features such as back buttons, trigger locks, rubber grips, swappable thumbstick caps, mechanical buttons. You've been kind of SOL, my boy, but not anymore. HandHeld Legend, which has been known for their parts and upgrades for the Game Boy and the Nintendo DS, is now selling a TMR thumbstick module equipped DualSense controller in quite a few cool looking colors, including the saucy green we're looking at today. So I'm gonna test the thumbstick modules on PlayStation, doing some tests on the PC as well, and let you know if I think it's a good buy at $150 with a 90-day warranty. Let's get it. Quick disclaimer for my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes. This controller was sent for review by HandHeld Legend, so thank you very much. The company does not get an early preview, so the thoughts in this video are 100% my own. And if there's any cons, shortcomings, or areas of improvement, you are going to hear about it, so these companies make better products over time. This is a box we're extremely familiar with. The only difference between this and a stock Sony DualSense controller is the fact that this is sealed with an HHL or HandHeld Legend sticker. Also letting you know that this does have TMR thumbstick modules on board. These are the thumbstick modules that are pre-installed on this controller. There was a little bit of a scent in my nostrils and I didn't really know what it was. It's the smell of disappointment. So these swappable thumbstick caps, they're not really swappable like you would think. And in the builder, it does actually say KK3s swappables. So I was thinking, okay, they're gonna have some domes, some concaves, some low, mids, and highs, you know, different options. So technically you would need to invest in your own KK3 caps, which I'm sure are sold on Amazon, but they don't come with the controller. And to call it swappable thumbstick caps when there's no other options to swap to. All right, senorita, I have got some of my favorite PS5 controllers over here, my common grab and goes. Don't think I'm lying to you because there's a huge coat of dust on this. I haven't picked this one up in a couple of days. We got the Razer Raju, we got the Sony DualSense Edge, we got a stock PS5 DualSense controller. Kevin, that looks custom. It's from a company called Lazamods, but it is a stock DualSense controller. So is this technically, except that it has TMR thumbstick modules. And the main reason I wanted to break out these biscuits is to compare just the thumbsticks. So I would say about 5 to 10% less resistance, easier to move, which could be a good or bad thing. Bad if you're somebody that prefers increased thumbstick tension. Oh my golly, but I will say, just dawdling around this midpoint right here, I do feel like these are, oh yeah. It's not a placebo or any kind of me just making up some blowing hot steam up your patootie. Night and day feel the difference. Buttery smooth because it's the breaking of magnets that's letting you move the joysticks. As we're over here, there's potentiometer sensors and then you've got these rubber bands that basically recenter you and that creates the tension and you can feel that. It doesn't feel the same. I'll get more articulate over time with explaining things. This feels a lot better. Unfortunately, I do prefer the stock thumbstick caps more than these KK3s. So a little bit of regret in the builder on my part for selecting these, thinking there was like some swappable options. I should have just gone with the DualSense caps because these are actually really good. As for the cosmetics or appearance, this is the teal option. I did wait longer for this color. They had a couple other ones that they thought might be up my alley, like white. They know dang well I do like them white controllers. Glad I waited for this. Popping on these thumbstick caps, it just completed the look. Okay, that makes way more sense. Disregard what I said in the living room when I said, well, HandHeld Legend, cool name, but makes me think of handheld consoles. Yes, that is what this company did before they jumped into the controller market. Okay, and they do have, I would like to review this model as well, funded with Kickstarter. So was the Hex Phantom, and that turned out to be a fantastic controller. So they do console mods, what we're reviewing here today, which is the TMR upgraded PS5 controller. If you want a stock feeling controller that will not get drift for you and has more responsive thumbsticks, tighter dead zones, more accuracy and response. Yeah, you're looking at $150. This might be a perma sale because every time I've checked the site, this has been slashed. As for colors, they have quite a few, but nothing too rambunctious. No graphics or prints, rather just solid colors, gradients or glitters. Thumbsticks that I selected was the Ghoulie Kit KK swappables, and as I mentioned in the living room, that's a mistake. I thought they were really for real swappable with different options. they're not, brother. Just go with the original Sonys, which I think those hybrid caps feel better, to be honest. You do get 3 months of coverage from this company, but a stock DualSense controller carries 1 year. So that is something to note. You do have a quarter of the warranty, double the price of a stalker. The most common thing to go out on controllers is the thumbstick modules giving you stick drift. In fact, the first generation of DualSense controllers, there has since been a couple of silent revisions where you actually need to disassemble the controller and there's a serial number on the board that'll tell you what version you have. The first version was not very durable, and there was a class action lawsuit from a lot of unhappy gamers versus Sony for sourcing the thumbstick modules from the same company as the Nintendo Switch, which is the most notorious console for getting stick drift. Keep in mind, there is a version of that console called the Lite where you can't just buy new Joy-Cons. They're part of the console. You also cannot dock that console and play it on a TV with a full-size controller Bluetooth to it. I wanted to caveat the fact that yes, you are getting a shorter warranty, but the part that generally breaks is customized with a part that shouldn't give you any trouble. So these thumbstick modules, you have to be very delicate, very ginger when coming off of them, returning to neutral, taking your thumbs off those sticks to get it to snap back to a perfect resting value of 0.00392. A lot of times, as you can see, it snaps back to sometimes it doesn't even stay steady. It just starts jittering right at the neutral zone. Not necessarily what you like to see. Go ahead and continue my sentence and say that I didn't feel any of the jankage I'm looking at on the PlayStation 5 or the PC when gaming, but looking here in Gamepad Tester, there's a little bit of jitter at neutral. Not as bad as Hyper's first batch of Hall effects. AIM also had a pretty bad first batch, not as bad, but I was lucky enough to try one of the ones that was not sent to customers, and it was a little janky. These are the same. There's a little bit of jitter, and you have to bring them back to their neutral position with your thumbs. You can't just stop, because they won't stop. They're gonna keep jittering on your ass. Tightening up my dead zones to a 0. I didn't notice anything weird in gameplay. As this is a stock PS5 DualSense controller, input lag or delay is going to be 4 milliseconds of input lag or delay on a 250 hertz stock clock, but can be overclocked to 1000 hertz. Well, actually, you can push her faster than that in the Lord of Mice overclocking software, but I did mention in a previous video, and I'll just go ahead and stick to my guns on this one, that I don't really recommend pushing past 2000 hertz because it actually causes more battery drain, inconsistency issues. Sometimes the controller doesn't even work, as where 1000 hertz is the golden standard for an overclocked controller. You're at that 1 millisecond of input lag or delay or sub mark, usually around 0.92. And if you want to go wireless and still be quick as snot, you can use a program called DS4 to overclock the Bluetooth chip on board, and yes, that does actually work. Makes it faster over wireless to PC. So in conclusion, wrapping up, I want to share a video, and that is going to be the installation process for TMR thumbstick modules on a DualSense controller. You're gonna have to know how to solder, my man. You're gonna have to be laying beads down on the back of this PCB. Is it the hardest thing in the world? No. Can you mess it up if you don't know what you're doing? Absolutely. Are you going to be out of a warranty if you've disassembled the controller? Yes. So it might behoove you to look at HandHeld Legends if you want a stock feeling DualSense controller that won't get drift on you. So it is a viable option to, instead of $70 for a stock DualSense controller, a little bit more than double that price to have TMR thumbstick modules and a 90-day warranty. That's not a sour deal by any means. Here's my personal opinion as I sign off, sign away, and slink back into the shadows. If you're already going to be spending $150, you ought to just save up like 40, 50 bucks mo, and you're in that $200 range, and you're looking at pro controllers. You're looking at Hyper, Cinch, Megamods, AIM, Battle Beaver. Yes, some of these get up to $400, $500 when you're getting rambunctious in the builder, but you don't have to. They have pre-builds that are ready to ship. It's less customization. You don't pick and choose every little piece, but it's a custom color, and it comes with all the pro controller features: back buttons, swappable thumbstick caps, trigger locks or stops, some rubber grips, things like that. Thanks. For very similar price point to these controllers. However, if you are somebody that prefers a stock controller, don't really enjoy the pro controllers too much, you know, accidentally hitting the back buttons when they don't want to and stuff, just prefer smooth plastic on the back of their controllers, but don't want drift. HandHeld Legends is what you want. They've been doing handheld customization for a when did you guys get started? 2013. We're in 26 now, so that is, I'm not good with math. You can go ahead and do the subtraction or multiplication, whatever it is. It's quite a few years in business making handheld accessories, and now they're doing TMR modified DualSenses. Mine performed simply lovely in all of my testing on the PS5 and the PC. It is linked in the description below, alongside an exclusive discount code for my audience. I will see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.